On this episode of the show, custom audiences and retargeting. What on earth are we talking about?
I'm glad you said that slowly. Cue title sequence.
30-minute music marketing for musicians who want to get better at marketing their music.
Hello, I'm Sheldon.
And I'm Greg.
And this is 30-minute music marketing, the show for independent artists and DIY musicians who want to get better at marketing their music. And hopefully this week you're going to get better at marketing your music by carrying on with our fantastic Facebook Ads for Musicians mini-series. It's a bit like Chernobyl, but with less radiation.
That's one way of putting it.
Thanks very much for watching the show. If you listen to this episode on a podcasting platform, hopefully you might get some of what we're saying. This one's probably best on YouTube as well.
On a computer rather
on
than
a computer
phone.
rather than a phone, just so you can see all the text.
But if you turn it this way, you can actually see it rather than this
Our
way.
previous episodes have had rave reviews
They have.
already.
It's
People have just been slagging them off.
I mean, I'm so grateful that we spend our time doing this.
Yes, indeed. Oh, no, we do love it. Now then, Greg, can you remember what we did on the last episode? Again, it's education. It's a recap.
Right, okay. You went through the process of creating an audience.
Audiences. We created a couple of different
Facebook.
audiences, trying to find out which is the best performing audience, which got the most views for our money. So that's the first thing that we're going to be doing in this particular
And
episode.
then you took the best performing audience. And
No, I haven't yet because we haven't done that yet. Because we filmed these so far in advance. No, what we did, we took an existing post,
Yes.
which was a video
I'm
post.
getting ahead of myself.
Yes, we
aren't
retitled the text
Yep.
within that post so it made sense to an external audience. We made sure that it had an element of mystery and intrigue in order that people tried to click and engage with the post
Yep.
and lure them in.
So it's more like content rather than an advert.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Because it was an advert, but when is an advert not an advert? When you try and make it look less like an advert to encourage people to watch it.
Which is always helpful.
So I think that's what we were doing last week. So the first thing that we're going to do this week, even though we recorded this last week, this is very confusing for us, is to try and find out which one of the two audiences with the best performing audience. And once we've done that, then we'll go to the effort and trouble of creating a custom audience based on the engagement and the watch time that particular video has had. And then we're going to run a second advert to try and get people to do something else and to take an action. Are you ready for all this?
It's a lot to sink in, but I reckon we'll get there.
Okay, right.
3, 2, 1, we're back in the room.
So this is now how many days? It's 9. How many days it was?
It's quite a few.
It's quite a few. It's at least a week.
Yes.
Since we turned off the less well-performing campaign and let the best performing campaign run. And the idea is that it's been showing to thousands of people.
So to reiterate, we ran 2 campaigns.
Yep.
We wanted to see which one would work better. There were a few differences.
One was a better performing campaign than the other.
And now we've got rid of the less performing campaign and stuck with the one that we know is working. And now
we just let it
7 days
run.
in. Now, how much were you spending a day?
We were spending £10 a day, I think,
Which might
be a lot for you, but this is just me and my particular band, and we've got a big audience, and because we make a bit of money, maybe because we advertise using Facebook ads, that's another thing. So we have some money to invest in that. If you've only got,
but I suppose because originally the 2 campaigns that you did, you only spent like £1 a day on both of them to begin with for that very short period of time.
Yeah. So we only spent
and then you spent
each.
more on the more successful one. But they could have kept going, spending only £1 a day, and that would have been more effective than doing. Nothing. Yes. So okay, that's cool.
Okay, so a week later, we're coming back to primarily halt the campaign, but just to see how it's been performing. So like I said, we've been getting a certain amount of comments. I'll be perfectly honest, not as many comments as I normally get for one of these types of campaigns. Maybe this isn't the best piece of but we will reflect at the end. But also we'll be getting a lot of organic page likes, because obviously people have been seeing the video for the first time, maybe encountering us for the first time, and they've been pressing like, and so we use that invite to like feature on
Which I
Facebook.
see so many people, because I have not managed, but I oversee certain clients of mine Facebook pages, and the amount of times I see that they haven't invited that person to like the page, it's quite high.
Right, so let me
let's
do
go
a
to
tiny
the
bit of scrolling, zoom in, people. Right, so let's have a look using our campaign ads manager. So how much did we spend? We've spent a total of £69 so far. We have achieved, according to Facebook.
Where's the 16? Oh, sorry, just over there, right?
Yeah,
okay,
they can't see where your finger is.
Yes, I realise. Well, yeah, you're right.
We'll maybe have to
squiggle
and giggle around. So Facebook counts the through play as anything longer than 15 seconds. If you're actually running an ad for like lawnmowers and you're doing like a little video advert, they say like make it nice and short, 15 seconds. Average Facebook view time is 8 to 9 seconds. Remember, so they're normally saying if you're advertising anything, obviously as is an advert, but it's designed not to look like an advert. But anyway, the metric that it uses now is through play, which saying so it's saying that at least 7,800 people watched it for that minimum of 15 seconds. We've reached 29,508 people, and we've made
that. I don't understand. Can you explain to me how the impressions can be more than the reach? What is the difference?
Because the impressions is how many times that video has been shown to people. So it's been shown 48,000 times to 29,000 people.
Right, okay. That makes a bit more sense.
And so that means that even though we've had a large audience to begin with of maybe hundreds of thousands, Facebook has looked at the results as it's been going along, and it's been going, all right, maybe more men seem to like this more than women, so I'll show it to more men. So what it will do is it will find the people that it resonates most with, and if necessary, show it to those people more than once.
So you've paid £69 for an advert that has been shown over 48,000 times.
Yeah,
that's madness.
And it's
in a good way.
Yeah, it's a it's a piece of content. Let's scroll along. The video is still ongoing. Average video watch time 11 seconds. You see what I mean? But as we've said in previous episodes, don't worry too much about that, because the majority of people will ignore it. We're not bothered about the majority of people. We're bothered about the minority of people
who've spent the majority of the time.
Yeah. Right, so this is a general performance column. If I go to video engagement, that will give us a little bit more stats in terms of how many people have watched this video.
I shouldn't jump
for a certain period of time. Go on, you carry on.
I was going to say, well, I'm interjecting here, Brett. You've had over 1,200 people watch 100% of that advert.
Yeah.
Well, content. I won't use the word of advert, sorry.
Let's call it video.
They've watched
performance video.
They watched 100% of the video.
So that's 1,200 people like that. In this day and age, for people really with zero attention spans, that's pretty good. Now the metric that people like to use is video views at 75%. So 2,785 people have watched that for 3/4 of the way through. Now, the great thing about this is what we can now do is we can get Facebook to create a custom audience, a list, an internal list of all those people, these 2,785 people, in order that we can create another advert and
targeted
just to those people. So we've talked previously about cold audiences and warm audiences. Now, these people who watched it for 50%, 75%, 95%, they're warmed up. They know who we are now when they might have not have known.
It's almost kind of going back to that 6 points of communication before someone puts their hand in their pocket.
So we've done the first touch, as it were, for a lot of these people. So they've gone from not knowing who we are, having never heard of us before, to maybe knowing who we are, and if they've watched 75% of our video, they've got a pretty good flavour of what we're like and what you might be like as a performer. And also, they must like us because they've stuck around. So if they like us, then we can spend a little bit more money targeting just those people.
So some people are going to say £69 spent on Facebook marketing is a lot of money. So is there a way that you can put this in a context comparing, because a lot of people still You know, when we've discussed in the past about people not wanting to put music on streaming services, it goes to show that there are still some people who may be, shall I use the phrase, old-fashioned. So is there a way that you can, how could you, the £69 that you spent reaching that audience there, if you were to go old school,
Yeah.
What's the price comparison?
Well, if you're trying to get people to be aware of your music and of your latest release, if you were to go to a regional radio plugging company to get your song on the radio, you'd be paying between £500 and £1,000, and that might get you absolutely zero because your song might not be specifically good enough for radio, or they might be sending it out to the wrong people. But also, as well, if it is played on the radio and there are people who like it, you've got no way of reaching them. How do you reach out to those? If someone sat at home in Dudley in the West Midlands and go, oh, that was quite good, but they don't actually make the decision to maybe check you out on Facebook because they're out walking the dog, say, for example. But whereas something like this is, we can now create another advert or another piece of content and show that to, if you want to do it to the people who watched it for halfway through, to 3,500 people. And these are pre-qualified leads, to use a sales sort of term. So you've got the opportunity to reach out and show them something else, which if you do that on, traditional music promo platforms,
plug is going to cost you 500 to 1,000.
Yeah.
What else would people have used?
I don't. It's difficult in this day and age because in terms of music promotion.
I mean,
but
I suppose flyers.
Well, no one's going to.
I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to put although £69 might seem a lot of money to some people
in comparison to traditional adverts.
That's what I'm trying to get.
Try and take out a half-page advert in your local newspaper or in a specialist music magazine, and then you'll realise that this small amount of money, and you can scale this sort of thing to your budget.
And I mean, I know that there's a local Warrington music magazine, monthly magazine called Wham, I think. But they were looking to advertise. They were looking to find someone to advertise on their back page, and yes, you could have put. I never inquired how much that was. But it's probably going to be a lot more than £69.
Amazing half an anecdote there, Greg. Right, so what we need now.
I will find out. I will contact him,
and I'm sure to give him a right to reply, they'd say it's a wonderful, wonderful service. It's not for me to slag him off. It was him. So send all your emails. Right, so we need to create custom audiences.
Yes.
So we need.
So now, are we going to focus on the 50 or the 75%?
We'll go with 75%. Now this is that list of 2,700 is the 75% who are directly attributable to the ad campaign. We will have also had some organic views at 75%, because if I show you an advert and you share it to your friends, even though you're paid for at 75%, you might show it to your friends, and if they watch it, then that's organic. So that's almost like the equivalent of free traffic. So we're going to create an audience which will probably be over and above at 2,700. So if I go back to my ads manager list and audiences, there we go. We'll click that there. And we previously created a saved audience, if you remember, Greg.
Just make a point, because somebody has given us some feedback regarding this. Maybe if you want to, because obviously we're working with the limitations of the devices we're using, it might be better to watch this on a computer rather than trying to watch this on a smartphone.
My eyesight's terrible anyway, so I need to squint.
If you're having difficulty on a phone,
put your readers
look at it on a computer.
Okay, so this create audience drop-down menu.
Yep.
I give that a click.
I was chewing breaks.
Custom audience.
Yep.
So for the first time, we are creating a custom audience. It's thinking. Now, lots of possibilities here.
There are a lot of options.
Yeah, let's just concentrate on what we know. So we're going to create a custom audience for people who watched a video.
Right.
So it's going, right, well, what's the criteria? Let's
people
go with
who watch 75%.
75%. You get
It's
the hang of
madness
this.
how it knows all this.
I know.
It is. It's almost like magic.
/ being evil. Right, so we've got to now. There we go. There's
okay. So
there's said video. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
Oh,
we've
Kendall calling. That's
selected
coming up again soon, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Right, so I'm going to scroll
Please don't
down.
rain.
Also, as well, you can select more than one video if you've had a couple of good performing videos.
So if you did select more than one, would it do a campaign for each video, or would it do a campaign with both?
It would create a custom audience for as many videos as you select, and then you can. What you decide to do with that audience is then up to you.
Okay. So choose a content type.
So, we have we have selected the video. You can give it a time criteria as well. The default is a year. It doesn't go back over a year, but again, so
would you go back as far as a year?
It depends when the thing was posted, but you
okay, fair enough.
And you've got to give it a logical name. So we're going to call this. Let's call it Greg's 75% test audience. And if it's got a D in there as well. That's
see, it's catching.
It is.
Audience.
I can add a further description as well that might be specifically relating to
Bernard
what
will
we
love
do.
that, by the way.
Yes, he will. And now I'm going to click Create Audience. Now then, it doesn't do it automatically because
it's magic, but it's not.
It's not instant magic. So it's got to go through all the, I think, 40-odd thousand people who've engaged with that video, and then it's going to go, right, did you watch it to 75%? No. Did you watch it to 75%? Yes.
Imagine if you had to do this yourself.
So what will happen is that over the course of round about half an hour, it will come up and it will give us a list in the audience's
Are you saying
window.
that we're going to have a break in this whilst we let
Well,
it do
we are.
Yes,
the viewers at home won't.
I mean, I would suggest get a tea, but you won't have time to make one.
So what it wants to do is it wants to make you run an advert straight away, and it's just like, hold your horses, Facebook. So rather than clicking next, which would take us to doing an advert, I'm just going to click the X there
and wait for it to do its thing.
So you will see that it's saying the audience is below 1,000. That's because it's on about 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 at the moment. So populating means it's still
going through the
adding
numbers.
them all together. So what we've got to do now is we're going to go for a brew, and via the magic of technology. That brew will be drunk, and we'll come back when this audience is populated, which will allow us to use it to run advert number 2. So we will see you in a bit.
3, 2, 1, and we're back again.
Right. So our custom audience has been assembled, and believe it or not, we've, according to Facebook, got 4,000 people who've watched that video for 75% of the length of the video. Now,
you're right, it does take a while, doesn't it?
It does take a while, but remember how I was saying that I think it was 2,700 people we paid for those people to see the video, but in addition we've got like 1,300 people who've viewed it organically. We can still use that particular audience. So now what we have to do is we have to go on to the next particular stage, and that is to show a specific advert to those people. And I'm just going to go through the process of how one would actually do that, because in the first instance we modified an existing post. So now I'm just going to quickly show you just a bit of a run through how one might create an advert from scratch. So within the Facebook Ads Manager, I'm going to go to the main menu, and then I'm going to go Ads Manager. We'll get back to the display of sort of several tabs. Just loads in. Oh, I've still realised that this campaign is still running, so let me just click that particular button and turn it off, just so it spends no further money. And to start running the advert again, I'll just click the green Create button. Now, remember last time, Greg, for our first advert, we did the video view campaign.
Yes.
Let me just get rid of that. That was just probably me messing around previously. So previously we used video view as our objective. Well, now what we're going to do is we're going to select traffic as our consideration. The reason being is for this advert, what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and offer somebody an offer in some sort of way, some sort of call to action. So what might follow after this particular first initial stage is you might want to try and send people to a page on your website where you want to encourage people to sign up to your mailing list by offering them a quite a good freebie, for example.
Okay.
So, for example, a couple of months back, you recorded some live footage at one of my performances, my band's performances in Chester.
Yes.
I could create like maybe an exclusive half-hour video performance from that, and I could say, "Oh, you're only going to get this if you sign up to our mailing list." So you could use that as some sort of consideration. So the idea is that if you've spent £70, then you want to some sort of maybe physical, tangible increase at the end of it.
Yeah.
Getting people onto your mailing list is a good thing to do. So Facebook counts people clicking and moving from Facebook to an external site as traffic. So we're going to click that, and that's our objective.
So in this case, the traffic is to go where? To
Again,
your website?
whenever you could potentially try and send people to your Spotify page to stream some Spotify. And what you could do, and indeed between you and me, what I might actually still do with this is you can ask Facebook to, out of those 4,000 people, show this particular advert if they've got Spotify installed on their phone, just so you know they're a Spotify user, so you can further even qualify that. But this is just an example. It's a tester, ladies and gentlemen. Give your campaign a logical name. Let's go all capitals as well for people with dodgy eyesight like me. So this could be sign up to mailing list, say, to 75% audience. Again, give it a logical name, which will be applicable for you. I'll also put the type of campaign, because again, you might be looking at this in a couple of months down the line. So the most information.
So you wouldn't tick any of the things beneath.
No. As we said last time, unless I tell you to do otherwise, just completely ignore it. Ad set name. So this is, who are we going to run the advertising campaign against? For my own personal records, I'm just going to say 75% audience. We're sending people to what would be a website. You can send them to a specific app or even to Messenger. And there's a whole world of Messenger chatbots that we can explore, but not today.
Right, okay.
Okay. So
Dynamic creative. Ignore that?
Just ignore that. Well, we could go into that. But
okay. For the moment.
So we previously used a save audience before, but
now we're using
a custom audience, which is a different box. So I'm going to click in there, and
it comes up with
it comes up because it comes up in a date order as to when you created it. So the most recent one will appear at the top. Cool. So right. So even though we know that audience is 4,000 in size, it won't, due to various GDPR audience type regulations and data gubbins, Facebook will no longer tell you who's actually in that audience, despite the fact that we know how many is in it. So that's just why that potential reach unavailable.
My question regarding to all of this, I mean, you're obviously going through a lot of stuff. If you weren't telling me and the people online, how else do people find out? Because it's quite, I wouldn't say it's convoluted, but there's obviously quite a process. It's not press a button and that's it.
Facebook would have a massive resource to encourage people to start using
considering this is their business at the end of the day, isn't it?
But I don't know whether it's because the world of marketing and advertising is something of a closed shop and you have to go through an agency for that sort of thing. I don't know whether that sort of
it's almost you'd pay someone else to do this part rather than do it yourself.
That's historically how it's been done. However, all I did is I took one particular course, which was all right. Then I took another course, which was even better. I might even recommend that at the end of it. And I've just subsequently used it time after time over a period of years. Okay. In fact, I started running ads really before I knew what I was doing. And then I took a course and got better, and so on and so forth.
Right, okay.
So I can't even remember. I think I included Ireland in my list of countries. So let's just put that up again. Republic of Ireland. Republic. Did I type in Ireland? Ireland country. There we go. So we've got the UK and Ireland, because those are the only two countries I think that we're in. our audience. Well, we could further filter down in terms of defining ages, but
gender. Right?
But we're just going to leave that. We're not going to add any other connection type. We're going to edit the placements, and I actually think. Oh right, no, sorry. I'm sure previously. Can't remember whether this has changed even since last week, because we're getting a tremendous number of changes in the Facebook ad platform. Facebook itself is a very dynamic thing. It's constantly being tweaked and changed and updated. They do say that at any one time there are 2,000 different versions of Facebook being shown to different people around the world. Well, they'll try something and see if that works. And if it works, then they'll roll it out. So you logging into Facebook and me logging into Facebook might show you a completely different way of doing things.
One observation on this so far is that it said 4,000 people.
Yes.
How come this is now changing?
Well,
I was about to say it said 1,500, but now it's gone down to 900.
Yeah,
now it's gone down to 523. Why is this changing?
What I'm doing is I'm refining the number of different places where this subsequent advert will be shown.
Because a reach of under 10 doesn't seem very high.
Yeah, but so if I put it in the Facebook newsfeed, then
now
it increases. And in fact, technically, because it's an advert, we could even put it in the Instagram feed as well. But in fact, no, I think I've only shown this particular advert on Facebook, if you remember.
Yeah.
So in fact, I'm going to put it in lots of different places on Facebook.
How come it's going down when you clicked more? Okay.
Right, so let's scroll further down because we've not actually got through to how much money you want to spend. So if you've got an overall advertising budget, don't forget we're doing this in 2 stages. We're almost going. Find who might like this from a cold audience, and then retargeting your warm audience. How do you go about splitting between money in the first section, money in the second section? It may well be 60, 40, 70, 30. So again, you can't necessarily spend everything at stage 1 because you've got to have a little bit of money left to spend in retargeting. But I might say spend something in the region of about maybe £5 a day.
And how many days are you going to do this for?
Well, again, it may well be that how much money have you got left in your budget?
Okay, so you're just basically you're not determining a set time. You're just going to play it.
I would play it by ear,
budget, or play it right.
Yeah, and also check the metrics and see what sort of results I get on a day-by-day basis. Maybe once it's fallen off for a period of time. Again, lots of things here. For the sake of,
you're not doing anything.
I'm not going to do anything with them. So previously, so we'll give our ad name. So as a way of an example, let's pretend that we're getting people to sign up to the mailing list. And I'll imagine that I've got an existing page on my website which gives people the description of a fantastic offer that, by signing up to the mailing list, you'll get a free unreleased album by us. A single MP3 in this day and age is not going to get anybody to do anything.
So you've really got to pull out the guns.
Yeah, because again, I've got an iPhone and it's like, a free MP3. It's just like, what? An MP3? I don't have to boot up my MacBook and then get iTunes and then sync it all. So, we live in a streaming age, so give them something exclusive to stream, or maybe to a mini 6-track EP that's not going to be available anywhere else. So previously we used this using existing post. But now we are creating an advert from scratch. 2 things we can do here. We can use a still image, or we can use video. In this particular case, I'm going to use a single image, and maybe I'm just going to reach into my Facebook image library, just pull up a previously used image. So scroll down. So I'm going to browse my library. Oh, again, I could upload. I think there'll be something suitable in my library. Let's have a look. I'll probably use that one there. Select that. It can also do things such as we can use different sizes and dimensions of photos for different placements. So I might have a square photo if I'm displaying this on Instagram. I might have a different one for Facebook. But let's just put that there. Here's my primary text. So let me just type something that would entice. Something like sign up to get a free bonus. To get a free. Again, this is you can see the level of preparation that's going into.
So we're going to offer video, or
well, I tell you what. Let's imagine. Again, this is all imaginary. To get access. Whoa, yeah, there we go. To an exclusive.
Make it sound special.
Concert photo. What was? What am I looking
for? Exclusive. What do we to get an access pass to an exclusive concert?
Access pass.
Yeah, see, I'm not just here for the oddball.
Sign
comments.
up to our mailing list to get access to an exclusive pass.
Would it be an online concert? Otherwise, they might think they're getting a physical. Sorry,
right. No, you mentioned the pass.
Do we need to speed this bit up?
Well, something along those lines. Again, you were
okay.
So we're going to a website, and so I'm going to.
So this is really when bands need their own website instead of relying on Facebook for their website.
/ I don't know. Again, this is just all.
Hang on, are you not actually doing this?
No.
Oh,
again,
okay.
this is by way of an example. I haven't got such an offer at the moment.
Right.
So, call to action.
Yes.
In terms of that little box, it could be that little box that's over here. Learn more. Buy now. I think there's a sign up. Is there a sign up?
Sign up was further down.
Was it really?
It is there.
Sign up.
Okay, gotcha.
So, right. It's only saying. It's only flashing that in red for the simple thing that I think it's checked to see whether that actually exists. Or
and you got that URL doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I think so. Doesn't direct to it. It certainly does because it lives. Oh, there's a comma there. You see. Again, I'm not got my glasses on, so let's just put it in there. To the website. You can further, well, it says display link, or in fact, headline. Further describe the offer here. Exclamation mark. Then you might want to use up there. So you get a preview on the right hand side.
Okay.
As to how it will look on people's phones and in different sort of feeds. And then all I'd need to do now, remember this pixel thing. Yeah, we talked about pixels last time, basically being cookies. That's nothing to do with my online shop in this particular case. And then all I'd do is click confirm, and then I'd run that as an advert. But only to those people who've already been warmed up.
So have you got an example of one running at the moment?
No.
Right, okay. When will you be doing the next one?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's only an example, ladies and gentlemen. I can't, I can't have every possible permutation of specific offer. But this is how one might compose an advert from scratch.
Can I make a suggestion?
Well, you can suggest.
Okay, right. You know what we've been doing?
Yes.
Can we do what we've been doing, but for my business, so that they can at least see? All right, it might not be band specific, but at least it's the same process.
Yeah, we can do.
And then,
but again, there's what I'm doing here is that I'm still not necessarily trying to sell anybody.
But at least if we did it to raise people's awareness of the business, which is what you're trying to do here, which is raise the people's awareness of your band, are they going to be that dissimilar? I'm just trying to give the people at home a real world example.
Well,
That's
what I would
not
say
relying
is that
on you paying for it all the
no,
time.
no, no. What I'm saying is we can certainly do it, but I'm keenly aware that this sort of campaign, which doesn't really rely on anybody spending any money, although it still can be quite difficult to try and get even somebody's email address from somebody. So there's a different level of expectation and maybe a different type of result that might be obtained.
Well, we could at least do it for the 30-minute music marketing website and trying to increase, because that we're not selling anything, are we? We're just trying to raise people's awareness.
Wow. That was quite intense, wasn't it?
It was good.
That's over a period of a week and a half. So let's try and summarise what we've done in a very short space of time in terms of us having the time to explain it.
Yeah. Okay, go on. Who's got notes?
I've written some notes.
Yep.
So I took an existing well-performing video post on my band's Facebook page. I altered the text so that it appealed more to an external audience rather than my existing audience. I created several different audiences that were based on different musical artists or musical sort of preferences.
Yep.
I started a very small budgeted ad campaign for each one of those audiences.
It was Button's audience.
It was
less than the price of a sandwich.
It was like a quid a day, and I think we ran it for 2 days. So we found the best performing one of those and put basically the majority of our budget on that, just so we could get the most bang for our buck. Then at the second ad stage, we created a custom audience based on people who'd watched 75% of the video. So we'd gone from a cold audience to a warm audience, and the idea being is that we can then put a significant part of our campaign budget on people that specifically we know like what they've seen already, and then we can create an advert which is a traffic advert and point them to an external page, maybe a page on our website,
so
to try and take them some sort of call to action. Now, during the course of the 7 or so days that we were running that, I think I've got 175 new Facebook likes. So as a result of that particular ad spend, I've gained a few more Facebook likes. So that's all right in terms of additional benefits. And obviously lots of new people have been introduced to my band, and potentially one particular focus track. If you're releasing a new single, that could be the benefit for you. Now then, things that I might have done differently. Maybe the video that I chose wasn't the best performing video that I've ever run, to be honest, because I had to find a piece of content to use as a basis for a campaign for this particular video. Like I said, I wouldn't maybe necessarily have chosen that particular one. I might have decided to create a video for one of my, best sort of singles. So maybe it's not something you'd do with something that was all right. I'd maybe try and find, a really fantastic song that's got a fantastic video and spend the money on that. In addition, maybe if I was doing this and spending a large amount of money, I might not necessarily use that video as a post. I might run specific custom created adverts with different headlines.
Right.
So different pieces of text. So rather than just defining and trying to identify the best performing audience, I could try and identify the best performing phrase.
Okay.
So you can do that ad infinitum. So in other words, we use 2 audiences. You can make, as I say, you could use maybe up to 10 audiences. Once you've found the right audience, you can run 3 different phrases or headlines.
But
and
even a step before that is you've almost got to find the right content.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I don't know if I'm ahead of myself here, but it's almost like you need to be posting content on Facebook, and you need to organise something that's more than just one campaign, and expecting wonders after a week of just spending. Yeah,
so spending £70 on Facebook isn't going to get you to the top of the charts. It's just one particular element. And it may well be that you run an advertising campaign against a video of a live performance. It could well be that if you've had a music video, an actual promo shot, you'd run a little bit money off that. And whatever you think is a good piece of content that will engage people and that external people will prick their ears up and will like. And one thing I will say as well is that whenever I do any of these sort of talks, is that your music's got to be good. Most people, in terms of when they talk about marketing, they never really focus on the fact that your content needs to be good. And if you are a musician or a singer, that means that your performance needs to be good and your music needs to be good. And nobody really talks about that as being the defining factor.
Bob Lefsetz does quite a lot in he's someone who does lots of blogging. One thing I was going to say was that, though, in terms of like, when you got people spending money on making their product, but then there's no real getting of the audience attention, then it's very difficult to improve when you're spending all your money making something that very few people hear and can give you feedback for.
Yeah, and to a certain degree, I know from maybe the results of the previous ad campaigns that I've run, that particular, the campaign that I've just run wasn't by no means the best performing campaign. And I know from the number of comments that I've had, which are a reasonable amount of comments. I've run campaigns before where the comments have been fizzing underneath the video and I'm in there engaging and replying. And even with the modest amount of comments that I've had, I've been pointing people to like a YouTube playlists where I've got like a playlist of 20 different videos and they can start maybe interacting with some of our stuff onto the YouTube.
One question. Have you been asked a question that's given you an idea for them further content? Like with what we get here, people have said about, have you thought about doing something because I'm stuck with this section. Or, in terms of, so what I'm saying is, has somebody asked a question that's giving you then some inspiration for some content to answer that?
For this?
No, just in general. For all your ad campaigns that you've run on Facebook.
And
the questions that you get asked.
From the general public?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Because people have asked stuff here, which is partly what we want, because it helps us create content.
In fact, there's a couple... I think the next proper episode after this was inspired by a commenter on YouTube? My Twitter account.
Your Twitter account.
Yeah, the 60-second Twitter. So, a couple of things you could do from here, and again, something we've not covered in this particular series, is that you can create a lookalike audience. So we created a custom audience of those people who've watched 75% of that video. Yeah. You can get Facebook to give you an audience of several 100,000 people who are in some way a little bit similar to those. So in other words, we've identified, people have self-identified as people of liking your content, and Facebook will say, right, I'll give you maybe 500,000 people in your associated big 6 countries who are like those people. And again, they're rather than running another ad campaign cold, those people should be maybe, again, more predisposed to like...
More of a chance.
There's more of a chance than running again and starting from scratch. So that's good. And then what you do is with that lookalike audience, you'd run that initial campaign again. So you start the process all over again.
How long have you been doing these, Sheldon?
Quite a while.
Years. Any sign of stopping?
No, if anything... what's historically happened over the course of the past few years is that as Facebook ads become more popular, they become more expensive. So the Facebook ad costs now are probably about 20% dearer than they were 2 years ago.
Right.
Because there's only a finite amount of space in the Facebook news feed and on Instagram. So the more people who want to advertise on the platform, consequently the more expensive it gets. So I'm still very mindful of the fact that I need to try and get as much done now whilst it's still cheap.
But at least if they're putting up their prices, it would imply that it works.
Yeah, but also it's the fact that, and this is what's happened, the companies that are currently spending billions on things like TV advertising, when, let's face it, who watches the television these days?
now are moving, and it's going to be
That's sad.
difficult.
Once they stop advertising on TV and then start advertising online, the likes of us are going to be pretty much.
Will they not put a
priced out.
two-tier?
Who knows what will happen?
I hope so.
So again, the one caveat I will say from what we've done so far is this is very much a walkthrough. We obviously hadn't had time to go into every single detail. If you do want to know more about Facebook advertising, I would try and seek out a course. The people at Entrepreneur.io, I think they do.
Should I put any links in the bottom in the
you could,
thing
yes.
beneath?
It's totally.
I like the way you're looking at them as if they're going to do it. It's...
What? You can do it as well. Yes. So yeah, like I say, we're just showing you what can be done within a very short space of time within the confined.
Because I mean, how long do these courses last that you've been on?
They last a while, and they go through things in a much greater, more forensic detail rather than two mates chatting. A Facebook ad course can cost maybe couple of hundred, but you know.
And we've done this
for free.
There we go.
For free, and if you don't like it, you can have your money back. Okay. Well, thanks very much for watching. I think next time somebody requested information on what people should be doing on a day-by-day basis. And
is this going to be a deep dive or
it's probably going to be another episode.
Wow,
not even another short one. Right, I'm going off now to feed my cats. What?
Can we do a deep dive at some point of festival experiences that we've had over the summer?
It's not going to help people in their marketing, is it really?
Well, yeah, okay. But it's a deep dive. It's not supposed to be for marketing. It's more just a casual chit-chat. I'll shut up, right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks for watching.
See you later.
Bye.